Okay, this is a short mini lesson on the rhetorical strategy of hyperbole. And most of this lesson was created by Roxana O, Lule W, and Elizabeth G. They did an awesome job with this. So by the end of this presentation, you should understand what hyperbole is, how it works, and why an author might use it, and how it affects an audience, and also maybe get practice at spotting it in pieces of writing. I will point out that it's pronounced hyperbole and not hyperbole, even though it looks like you would say hyperbole. It's hyperbole. Let's get started. Let's start out with a basic definition. Hyperbole is overstatement and exaggeration in order to prove a point. It means stating something more than you need to or overdoing it and exaggerating it in order to prove a point. So another way to say it is over exaggerating something to make it obvious what you're trying to say, right? Why does a writer or speaker use hyperbole? Well, by overstating and exaggerating the idea or point that they're trying to make. It assures that their point hits home with the reader. It'll make sure that what they're trying to say obviously hits home and gets across. Another reason they might use hyperbole is to maybe make the audience afraid, or by over exaggerating a problem or an issue or making a really strong comparison, it may make the audience feel fear or doubt or anything like that. So hyperbole can be used for a number of reasons, and it all has to do with how it affects the audience and how it makes the audience think and feel. So you have to keep that in mind when you spot and talk about hyperbole. So, an example of hyperbole would be it's raining cats and dogs outside. The raindrops are obviously not literally the size of cats and dogs, but because of that statement, we definitely get the idea that it's raining hard. It's raining badly. Another example would be to say the teacher was as evil as Adolf Hitler because he gave a test right after the holiday break. Well, most of us understand that a teacher giving a test after a holiday may be rough, but it's not nearly as bad as murdering, almost an entire race of people, which is what Hitler participated in, right? So that comparison gets the point across that you think the teacher is evil, but it's not. It's saying it more than necessary. It's going over the line to make the point, right? And that's how hyperbole works. Let's see if you can spot hyperbole in this AP prompt. Okay, so in this prompt, both columns were written by the same author to kind of show how debates like these go. And in this piece, in the first column in particular, take a look and see if you can spot hyperbole being used. Go ahead and pause. You could probably point to a lot of stuff in this first column and make a case that it's a little bit hyperbolic, that it definitely is overstating some things because that was the author's intent. But we could definitely pull out, for instance, this example here, and we could say that this is for sure an example of hyperbole, right? For a purpose, okay? So this part says some Bennington college student with a summer job will find an endangered red spider on your property, and before you know what happened, the Endangered Species Act will be used to shut you down. Now, is that how it's going to happen in most cases? No, it's not. It won't be just a random college student doing that. But the point is, the author used hyperbole to show that overstating things sometimes influences us very heavily. Again, when you spot hyperbole, you should be asking yourself certain questions about, like, when I see this, how does this affect the audience? How does it make them feel? When the audience reads that hyperbole, what does it make them feel? What does it make them think? All right. Obviously, this one might make them feel fear, right? If you're afraid of being shut down, your business or whatever you're doing being shut down, you would feel fear. And therefore, the author's purpose for using this hyperbole was to create fear in the audience, right? Are you understanding how this works? Hopefully, you are. That is how you would spot and talk about hyperbole. Hopefully, you have a better understanding of what hyperbole is, how it works, and how to spot it.